Hi guys, as you can probably tell from the kind of the scene behind me, this one this week is a little bit different in the sense that I've had to get a little bit creative around the kind of equipment that I'm going to be using, and the focus of this session is going to be on power hitting, so a batting specific session. So you'll notice behind me here I've got a bed sheet hung up on the washing line. Obviously when that's pinned nicely down to the ground, I can whack balls into it. It's not going to bounce back, it's just going to fall nicely to the ground. I can do lots of quick repetitions. Now I'm lucky that I've got a couple of ragged old pairs of hockey socks that I've been able to put up on the washing line. What I've got in the bottom there is a tennis ball in the bottom of the sock, so I can practice striking that ball. Other kit that I've got here, this is a stump with a weight on the bottom. Now clearly not everyone's going to have access to this, but this basically is an item that I'm going to use that is heavier than my cricket bat. Loads of soft balls, loads of tennis balls. They don't have to be balls, they can be rolled up socks if you're practicing them in the house. Toilet rolls, so those in place of batting tees, so you can strike the ball off the top of them, so it means not hitting the floor, which is ideal. So that's kind of the setup, and then obviously we'll run through the drills very shortly. Firstly, to just bring a bit of extra context to this session, why are we focusing on power hitting? Well, self-explanatory in a way. If you can hit the ball hard, it's obviously going to benefit you because it makes it harder to catch or stop. But thinking specifically about power hitting in Street 20, we've only got one boundary wall, and we all need to be able to target that wall as many times as possible from a number of different types of delivery in order to be successful. Where you've only got 20 balls available to score from, if you're able to accumulate boundaries, so 4s and 6s, and 6s in particular quickly, that's going to have a massive impact on your ability to win the game. So, power, what is it? Well, it's a combination of speed and strength. So the drills that we're going to look at here focus on both of those aspects, sometimes putting them together. So if we're doing a drill that focuses on speed, absolutely you have to try and do it quickly. You have to try and move your hands fast in order to be able to strike the ball. If we're doing a drill that focuses on strength, then ultimately we want to put 100% into that shot that we're playing, or that exercise that we're doing. So we get those two together, we create power. Simple. So part one of the session is looking at how we can strike under a little bit of physical pressure. So the physical pressure that we're going to create is firstly speed, so challenging yourself to do things quickly. And the second part is going to look at strength, so how we can develop our shots under a little bit of extra tension. We're going to do 12 repetitions of each shot, and we're going to do 3 sets. So this is shadow batting. My setup position. Okay, so that's a straight drive. I'm going to look to play a pull shot now. Last but not least, going to look to nail that ball back down the ground. Whew. Okay, so that's one set. Quick break. 2 more times through, but obviously adapts the number of reps, number of sets as appropriate for your comfort and fitness levels. So we've covered the speed part of the warm-up. This time we're going to look at the strength element. Now, in order to develop muscle strength, you need to slightly overload your muscles in the action. I've got 3 examples that I could use here, and I'll probably show them throughout the demo. This stump here, so the weight on the bottom creates a bit of extra challenge. So I know if I'm practicing a straight drive there, that creates a bit of extra tension. Okay, so I've got to really work to get my arms in a good position. Okay, and same goes for the other shots. Resistance band, obviously making sure that we've got it safely kind of anchored to the ground. What we can do here with this is practice playing that shot with one hand, and I know that creates some tension there. So same shot as what I was doing there, just a little bit of extra tension. An option number 3 that I've got, rather than playing my shot with one bat, my other bat that I had there, or this bat that I would use in the game, put both of them together, okay? Create a little bit of extra weight, then practice playing those shots, and it creates a bit of extra tension in the arms. So as before, 3 different shots, 12 reps on each one, which I'm choosing, 3 sets, working it through. Okay? Okay, so that's my straight drive. Going to move on to the pull shot, making sure I've got a nice strong position. And last but not least, hitting the ball down the ground. So I'm going to start my flat batting, hitting down the ground. I know that the sock's going to flip around a bit, and I'm going to create a challenge for myself to try and hit it while it's moving as well. Might look a bit funny, might miss a few, but who cares? I'm going to look to get a strong balanced position, develop power through my legs, through my hips, and then get fast hands through that ball. Okay, and that'll do for that first set. So next shot, same principle again, we're going to do 60 seconds. This time I'm straight driving, but I'm looking to hit into the middle of the duvet. Now, obviously I've used batting tees here. The reason is that the surface that I've got here really isn't that stable. So I tried using toilet roll holders, ball falls off, and it's a bit windy today as well. But on a flat surface, they will do the trick. So imagine that they are them. You can also cut off the tops of plastic bottles, so they've got a slightly wider base, a bit more stable. So pretty much everyone should have access to that. Obviously I've got tennis balls, softball mixture. That can be socks, can be. So all I'm going to do, hit them all, doesn't really matter what order I go in, but once I've done them all, collect them back up, put them on top of the tees. If I've disturbed the tees, put them back, and then go again, and do as many as I can in 1 minute. Okay, my challenge now, get them all back fast as I can, and then go again. There we go, so looking to create as much power. I'll go from the other side this time, hitting into the middle. Okay, and then go through as many times as you can. A lot of fun, this one, creates a little bit of destruction, not a bad thing, as long as you can tidy it up and it's nice and safe. Okay, so last activity of the 3, going to look to hit back down the ground over the top this time. So I'm going to try and get nice and close into the duvet sheet. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, so I'm going to use a kind of a drop feed. You can drop it from under your chin as well. Just makes it a bit different, don't have to use the tees this time. So I'm going to drop it, smash it, pick the next ball up and go again. So as before, looking to create a nice, strong, stable position, get our hands nice and quick through the back of that ball, and then hopefully get a really good outcome, and hopefully hit somewhere near the target. As I said, I'm trying to get this off the ground, but we're looking to make sure that it's far enough off the ground so that when it gets towards the boundary, people aren't going to catch it. Missed a few, but that doesn't mind. I'll give myself the excuse of a bit of a bumpy surface. Okay, so this next activity is going to involve something a little bit different. It's what we call a superset. Basically, that means that you've got 2 different exercises going on and you do them one after the other with no break. And the purpose of that is to kind of increase the physical challenge, but both of those exercises are slightly different. So what I've got here is something to hit the ball off the top of, and I've tried to get it roughly, well, it's a little bit lower than hip height, but ideally about hip height. Now obviously we know everyone's not going to have access to this kind of equipment, but just raising that ball height up a little bit and striking it off it, could be off a table, off a chair, as long as that there's a little bit of clearance between where you're trying to strike and the surface it's on, then that's great. So all I'm going to look to do, I've got a pile of balls here, I'm going to look to do 12 with my right hand, just with my hand, so I'm focusing on powerful body position and extending my arm out here to strike. Okay, and that could be for a flat back shot here, it could be for a pull shot, and obviously generating power through my hips and through the core of my body is key here. So 12 with the hand, and then we're going to pick up your bat, and then you're going to do the same thing but with using the bat, and it's going to be back to back. Okay, and we want to challenge both sides of the body as well. So after I've done it with my right hand, I'm then going to switch over, go the other way, and practice hitting with my left hand so we get strength developed on both sides. Okay, so what I would do is I'll complete the set of balls that I've got there, grab the bat, and then straight back into it. Okay? Okay, what I might do here as well, just to increase the height, and also those are a little bit softer as well, because I could just feel myself catching the stump a little bit. This won't hurt my hand as much. There we go, perfect. So pretend I've done them all, then I'll switch on to the batting example now. Okay, so the key for me is making sure I've got a nice stable position, so I shouldn't lose my balance when I'm playing the shot. Try not to hit it at the house though, I think I hit it through the washing, through the duvet then. So for our superset activity, the first example that we gave used a tee on top of a stump to help us do a pull shot. But there is an alternative that we can use that involves very limited kit. So rather than having that ball set up static, what you can do, depending on which round you're doing, so for example, if you're doing the round where you're hitting with your hand, all we do, get in our stance position, power position, throw it up with left hand, strike it with right. So we've got to watch that ball and then smash it into there. So we do the 12 reps as we explained. When we're going to do it with a bat, very simple. Rather than throwing it up, although you can still throw it up, aim is do a few bat taps, and then when it gets up, smash that ball into that curtain or dust sheet, whatever you've got available. And the idea obviously is to get a few balls ready so you can do it rapid fire, 12 as quick as possible, alternate, and then go through. And remember, we want to practice on right side and left side so we can develop our strength on both sides of the body and for our switch hit positions as well. So that's 12 reps with the hand, very quickly into the bat. And there we go. So the key, obviously, you'll get into a few different body positions. If you lose the ball, don't worry, grab another one from the pile. But watch it, get those hands through as fast as possible. You might want to practice your 4s and your 6s, so choose a few that you're going to say, right, that one's going along the ground, so hit high to low. Or choose another one, go, right, I'm going big with this one, hit it underneath, but try and make sure you're still hitting it into the sheet rather than into the neighbour's garden. So a good bit of fun. Remember to switch over, do your switch hits with it as well. So our final activity for the power hitting session is a nice little personal challenge called Tin Can Alley. It's got two parts to it. The first part is a simple challenge. You just get 10 objects, anything that you can get from your house. So it's called Tin Can Alley. I have got a couple of tin cans down there, but it's mainly milk bottles, cups, a couple of yogurt pots, anything you can find that is simple and safe that you can stack up. And then what you'll also need, a pile of balls. So I've got a mix of tape balls, tennis balls, soft balls, and a few markers, and all those markers are there for is just to give me a distance that I'm going to keep away from that. Now, in terms of changing the challenge, obviously the further you are away from your target, the more difficult it becomes. So if I find it easy and I knock my targets down quickly in the first go, just bring that marker back, or have a think about how I might change my targets. Quite important for me, I've got the dust sheet at the back as well, because it's going to be rapid fire. I don't want to have to collect the balls if they get too far. I'm just going to have a go, smash all the balls, knock the targets over, and see how quickly I can do it. Right, I'm just going to use just a straight drive for this one. I'm going to hit it quickly and see how we get on. Right, let's go. Right, so bit of fun, bit destructive. Good job I did have the kind of the backing up there, but that's it. I might change the challenge next time, or see if I can even beat that score and get it even quicker. Key for me, watch the ball, nice powerful base to belt that ball. Part 2 of the final challenge, we've taken targets out of the way, so we've not got anything to knock down this time. This time we brought a football in, so obviously any item that's going to roll like that, so most people would have a football, the sort of decent sized ball in the house. And the aim is for me to be able to get that through that line as fast as possible. So we're going to need some accuracy in terms of hitting the ball into the football, but we're also going to need quite a bit of power with our shots in order to propel that in that direction. So your challenge is to be able to do that as fast as you possibly can. Ideally in the fewest shots, because if you hit it really hard it should knock it a little bit further. Got the stack of balls again, because I'm probably going to need quite a few here, and what I'm also going to do is set myself a bit of a mark so that I've got to stand back a certain distance. Challenge here, the further the ball gets away from you before the gate, the more you're going to have to focus on your accuracy to be able to get that through. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see how many shots it takes me and how quickly I can do that. There we go, and I hit that one so well that I managed to lose a ball over the top of the shed from the rebound. So it was only 2 shots, bit of accuracy, but had to get in a nice powerful position and accelerate those hands through the line of the shot to get the ball where I need it to be. Next time round, what I'm going to do, either make that gate a bit smaller for accuracy, or make the distance that the ball needs to travel over a bit further, so I need to either hit it more times or hit it with a bit more power.